have a date yet for the invasion zone?
D-Day is in 61 hours from now. This is the largest seaborne invasion in history. Fate of the war, thousands of lives hinge on this. I need a forecast.
That was a new look at the film Pressure, which takes audiences through the 72 hours leading up to D-Day. How one meteorologist's readings of the weather altered everything, and the military leaders who pushed back. With us now, Golden Globe and Emmy Award-winning actor Damian Lewis. He plays one of those leaders, senior British Army officer Bernard Montgomery. A wonderfully kind man who always had soft touch. This had to be fun. So you've gone from Colonel Winters to Monty. And my God, you really had fun with this character. Talk about it.
Monty's a complex character. He was our big World War II hero in the UK, one of the great heroes of the war. You know, he beat Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, in the deserts of North Africa, and won back the Middle East at a time when we had accumulated a series of bad campaign losses. Churchill was under pressure. Anyway, and then he's made Allied commander of the land forces for D-Day, for the invasion, and he comes up against Ike. They don't get on initially.
And he's constantly needling Ike, isn't he? Take it from a guy who's actually fought in war.
Monty had fought at Ypres in the First World War, had his lung punctured by a bullet, then his knee, had a grave dug for him because they thought he was dead. And then recovered and went back into the First World War and fought in 2 more campaigns there. And yes, does needle Ike, who has no military experience. But, you know, the thing about Monty is he kind of needled everybody. You know, Monty was it's Monty's way or the highway. You know, and he was adored by his men because he was loyal to them. But other Allied commanders, they suffered him.
They suffered him.
I think.
Yeah, I think it makes the Stags standing up to Monty all the more remarkable, because when you consider, I would guess in June of 1944, Monty was like a god in Britain. And so for a meteorologist to constantly upset him, because Monty walks in and says, don't give them bad news. We have to go on the 5th.
Yeah, I think Monty's role in this movie is to play the he's the pragmatist, he's the antagonist. But he's the pragmatist. He's saying, look, we are ready to go. This has been planned for months. We got 300,000 men, some of them already just in the boats, eating and sleeping, and you come here and told us we've got a delay for 2 weeks, which is his first forecast. He says, we can't go on the 5th, we're going on the 14th. And Monty sort of loses his mind.
No 14th,
and is jumping up and down. 18th, excuse me.
18th,
And he's jumping up and down like a sort of terrier in the background, saying, why are we listening to the weatherman? This is crazy. Stag was right. He was right. You couldn't go on the 5th. We would never have landed the boats, and we'd have been decimated.
And waves up to 8 to 10 feet.
That's right. And we know what happened on the 6th. It was hard enough as it was, but his genius was to find this window and say, well, if you want to risk it, we can go on the 6th. There's a window.
So just to explain this out a little bit for people watching, Monty had a reason to be skeptical of Ike because of Operation Tiger, because delay in the past had caused the death of some troops.
That's right. Miscommunication had meant that there was terrible tragedy in this practice exercise, this training exercise, a few months, 6 weeks earlier. And Eisenhower, Ike was traumatized by this, and it fed his doubt and his uncertainty about making, one of the great decisions in history that was at his feet. It was his responsibility. And Monty had fought in the First World War. He'd seen the loss of life. And that's actually kind of one of the accusations leveled against Monty, is that even when he was besting Erwin Rommel in the North African deserts, that he was still too cautious. And that's actually why he had the sort of admiration of his men, because he did value life.
Right.
You know, he'd seen that sort of First World War methodology of warfare, sort of slightly hungover from Victorian time. Just send as many men as you can over the top. And just like, we'll just keep sending more than a dime.
Again, he was a survivor of World War I and saw the slaughter there, so wasn't quite as reckless in World War II. Here's part of the debate in the film on whether to proceed with D-Day as it was planned initially on the 5th or to wait.
If the storms come tonight, then they may burn themselves off by Monday. If they come tomorrow, then the weather will be exactly as I described.
We must go regardless. This moment demands judgment shaped by actual battlefield experience. We can't risk another exercise tiger. My men are ready and primed for the big match. Get them onto the beaches somehow, anyhow. Leave the rest to me.
So, again, talking about the needling at the end of the scene, Ike goes, basically, never call me out in front of the men again. And Monty's response is, it's not like they don't know anyway.
I know, Monty, he's being a little, so-and-so. What can I say on here?
Whatever you want to say.
No, he's needling him.
Right.
He's needling him. He's competitive. And I think he's, but Monty's got an ego the size of a house. There are a lot of amazing quotes about Monty, but one of my favorites is Monty is asked once, he said, so who would you say the 3 greatest commanders in military history ever were? And he pauses for a second and he says, well, the other 2 would be Napoleon and Alexander the Great. That's Monty.
That's Monty. But you've taught me something about Monty this morning when you talked about how his troops loved him, how he wasn't reckless with his troops. It seems to me that's the sort of person you want. You want somebody that doesn't, basically ignored people below him and kisses up to those above him. Like the people he gave the biggest grief to were people either at his level or above.
That's right. And in fact, there was the American chief of staff to this guy called Bedell, who was, Eisenhower's right hand. He just said, and I'm going to paraphrase this badly, but it was something like this. He said, Monty, you're hard to serve under, you're difficult to serve next to, and you're impossible to serve over.
I would take that as a compliment. Impossible to serve over. Yeah, because he's not a yes man.
Yeah, no, he protected his troops, and he was prickly and he was difficult, but. He was a great hero. He's a great soldier.
Great hero, great soldier, and also supremely confident, which contrasts a bit with Ike. Let's talk about one other British hero here, and that's Kay Summersby, who seems time and time again when Ike has doubts about himself and he's just obsessing over his past failures. She seems throughout this film to be the leveling wind for him.
I love those scenes between Brendan and Kerry. I think they play them beautifully. And it's but then they have that amazing moment of confrontation. And you're just starting to get the sense, okay, she's his aide. Is there something else going on here? There's the whiff of some intimacy here? It's kind of interesting, and they just tread this very fine line beautifully, I think. And then there's this very telling moment when she just comes into him privately, into Eisenhower's office, and just says, I think the way you're treating Stagg is wrong. And he just looks at her and he calls her lieutenant and says, you're dismissed. And he just, you've crossed the line. I'm not going to have a sort of domestic behind the scenes conversation with you about this. I'm outranking you right now, and I'm asking you to leave the room. And you can see how stunned she is by that. Because she obviously has power, on a personal level with him. I love that little nuance.
It's there, and I love when she's
in the film.
And we see it earlier when she's talking to Andrew's character, where she's talking about the excitement, and Andrew's just sort of staring at her like, Again.
Yes.
That line.
Yeah, what does that mean? Yeah.
Oh, I bet it
Yeah.
has been exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, she says yes. I think she says it has its moments.
It has its moments.
Yeah.
It has its moments.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's so great. We love having you on. It's always great to have you here. And this film's fantastic. I'm so excited about it and excited that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. The new movie Pressure is in theaters starting tomorrow. Golden Globe and Emmy Award-winning actor Damian Lewis. Thank you. And we'll be right back with more Morning Joe.